we're excited about some good food. Okay. Watch it. Even though God had brought them to the place of bitterness, he had done so for a reason. That is so that he can then bring them to the place of blessing. God says the way you get to the place of blessing is you got to go through the place of bitterness. See, there's somebody looking at me and you on your second marriage, but your second marriage is a wonderful thing. You know why? Because you had to go through the bitterness of the first one so you can appreciate the second one. Touch your neighbor and say, God is setting you up. God is setting you up for the blessing on the other side. God is about to set you up. That's why you're going through the hell and high water now, so that when you get on the other side, I wish I had some help in here. Can I just show you? Can I just show it to you? In the text I told you in verse 1 where they were shouting over all that God had done, but guess what? They was complaining on the other side of that. Y'all remember when they was on the other side, they had the mountains on both sides, the Red Sea in front of them, and the army is all behind them, and they coming, and they said we should have stayed. If we were going to have some graves, we should have had the graves in Egypt. They were complaining right there. They started complaining that we done got us out here, and all of a sudden we're going to die out here. We could have stayed in Egypt. But guess what? God opened the Red Sea. They walked away on dry ground. They get on the other side. The enemy tried to come after him. God hurls them in the water. All of a sudden, Negroes change their mind. They shouting on that side. Let me tell you something about Negroes. They'll complain on one side, but you turn the system record over, they'll be shouting on the other side. The same people that's complaining on this side, when we get there on 23rd and Coltrane, you watch them same now. They will know that they complain. Moses cried to the Lord. Watch this. And the Lord showed him a piece of wood. I wish I had some time to shout. I'm going to preach this again. I'm going to talk about that wood next time. He threw it in the water, because that's what it is. Y'all know that wood represents the cross, don't you? Then whenever you take the cross and you put it in any bit of situation, it'll make it sweet. I ain't got time to talk to you about that, but why do you think it's wood that he saw? Because he knew 2,000 years later God was going to put some wood on his son. And when he got the Calvary, he was going to turn our bitter waters into. And he said he threw it in the water, and watch it, and immediately the water became sweet. And then the Lord decreed a law to them that he tested them. Here's watch what happens. How do I handle the bitter water of life? Number one, I must reveal. You got to reveal your hurt. The text said, and Moses cried to the Lord. First thing he did was cry to the Lord. He didn't go to anybody other than to the Lord. He prayed, the Bible says. Somebody shout, he prayed. He prayed. Every Christian ought to put a sign over the door of their life that says, in the case of an emergency, pray. Listen, if you don't want your hurt to turn into bitterness, you got to learn how to pray. And prayer ought not be your last result. It ought to be your first choice. Somebody shout, reveal your hurt. You got to reveal your hurt. The Bible says that the psalmist said that I kept quiet. The more you don't talk about your hurt, the more I got upset, and the more I became angry inside, as though it was about the anger began to burn me. It literally said that when I don't reveal my hurt, what happens is my hurt turns into bitterness. That's the process. That you get hurt, but you ain't got to get bitter. You can get better over the hurt. But sometimes we get bitter before we can ever get better. You can't hold on to your hurt. Because people are going to hurt you by accident, and people are going to hurt you on purpose.